Everybody, this is a special meeting of the City Council in Waverly, Iowa. Today is March 24th. It is 6:45 p.m. This meeting is called to order. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members of the City Council, you have in front of you a fairly extensive agenda that Carla has prepared for us. Can I have a motion?
I will move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Any discussion? This is a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That passed unanimously. Therefore, this is the date, time, and place for a public hearing on the proposed budget statement. The mayor and city council will entertain any comments. After all comments, the hearing will be declared closed and the following action will be considered. Is there anyone who would rise to speak to the budget as presented? Okay.
Take our time.
Yep, we got plenty of time. What is that requirement, James? We have to be open for 15?
Sure.
All
I don't know if
right,
it's official, but it's recommended.
fair enough. This public hearing will remain open until 7 o'clock, should anyone have an urgent need to come and talk to us. Otherwise, we'll just
Sit and look at each other.
talk, wait patiently, maybe hear about, how was Rome?
Awesome. Yeah. A lot of history.
Yeah, it's too bad the Pope was in the hospital, so you couldn't meet with him.
Well, that's how it goes. But he's getting better.
Yeah, he was released yesterday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Councilperson Meyers, how was Greece?
It was awesome.
Also a little history there?
Yes, a lot of old stuff,
Was it greasy?
only in a good way.
Okay, speaking of old stuff.
Don't you look at me.
Councilperson Drenkow, how was Mexico?
Mexico is warm and the ocean is beautiful and the sunsets are great and food is fantastic and the people are warm and welcoming.
Well, I went to Minneapolis. The people were warm and welcoming, but the climate was not. Where'd you go on spring break, Ann?
Went to work. I was here in Waverly.
What are we doing wrong? Jen, did you go on spring break? That's pretty sure because I saw you here. Tim, how about you?
We just got done, well, 2 weeks ago was our spring break. Back at school last week, we got to have a day off for the blizzard, so that was,
That's nice.
they got a lot more snow up in Mason City than we got here. A lot more.
Mr. Root, have you been on travels?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago I was in Virgin Islands.
Ooh, how was that?
Well, it was awesome. Warm, yeah, it was great.
You were here. I saw you.
I was here.
Brian, you had spring break sometime this year.
Wartburg had our spring break 3 weeks ago. My wife and daughter went visiting colleges in the Pacific Northwest, but someone had to stay home and take care of the dog. So I was at home during spring break, although I did get to go out geocaching. I spent at least one day up in Minnesota, as we like to refer to it as geocaching the way Jesus would. That is to say,
A lot of wine?
rather than using a kayak to get to the island in the middle of the lake, I just walked there.
All right.
So, walking on water.
Okay.
So,
But did Jesus have GPS?
oh, Jesus didn't need GPS. But I think there was less geocaches hidden at the time.
stuff she was seeing was brand new. Some of the stuff she went to see was brand new.
Back in that
Compared to
day, yeah.
that.
Back in the day.
Okay, Carla, you don't get vacation, do you?
Never.
Ever?
She never gets out.
Councilman Birgen said never, so.
I think the gears of the city would grind to a halt without Carla around.
Or Val. Do you take any time off this spring? Okay, well, that used up that for the year. Pete, how's the knee, or hip, or foot?
What was that?
How you doing?
Healing.
Good.
Better. And he gets signed off physical therapy, so. And Ann's trying to get me roped into another committee.
I'm
Excellent.
not. I was no part of that, Pete. He got invited to the senior center board.
Oh. Are you old enough for that?
No.
And
I'm
never
just
will
there
be.
to make sure they spend the city's money wisely. I don't get a vote. Any comments about the budget that you feel like the public ought to know?
Tell you whatever you want to know.
Well, I saw in the Courier that taxes are going up 100% or something, 15%? Why don't you just give us the truth on that?
So what you see is the statement that was published, and as we were talking earlier, the middle column is absolute fabrication. I don't even know why they put it in there. None of it's even true or close to it. So the state concocted this middle column. The original column on the left is where last year's numbers were. The column on the right is the numbers we're proposing. But in the middle, which is where they compare it to, takes in all the growth that we had, which was substantial this year, but none of the spending occurs with that growth, which doesn't even legally make any sense. It has to in a certain sense, or certain funds don't exist. And everybody's property went up 10%, which is not the case either. If you recall last year, we had such a brutal year. We grew 22%, but after the rollback, it was less than 3. The rollback plummeted last year. This year it went up. So it did not drop because there was a huge amount of increase in assessments. It actually went up because I don't think the assessments were that large, if hardly at all. So when you put in a 10% average, it skyrockets the tax rate compared to what you are gonna do. It's absolute ridiculous that we have to do this. And your tax dollars, everybody looking, both of you, it paid for this. They pay to mail this stuff out. Like we talked earlier, Polk County cost them almost $41,000 of taxes to send out a document that's misleading, inaccurate, and not even close to being right. Outstanding. That's why we're having a second hearing, to make sure you want to do the second hearing the first time to get your budget approved. Again, publication costs, doubling that. This is absolutely absurd. So you want us to cut out waste, maybe stop mailing these kind of things out. It's online, everything we do is posted, it's on TV, it's in the minutes. We have budget sessions for 16 hours on the weekends, every dollar and a penny is accounted for. But I guess it's not enough, we have to send out a piece of documentation that's misleading and inaccurate. For what? That's what you're getting. So our budget actually went up 1.2% on the levy and 3.69 on the expenditure. The true actual taxes themselves. It did not go up 100 and some dollars, it went up 28 per 100,000, unless you have different assessments. And of that, the pool caused it to go up 36. So if we didn't have the pool payment in there for the first year, it would have been a -8. But you don't see any of that printed anywhere unless we actually explain it, which the paper did finally put that out there. That's what the true numbers are, not this nonsense that they print in the newspaper to mislead everybody, and that's what we're facing.
Well, you're looking at all the rates, and they've got rates for this and rates for that and rates for everything else, but what it comes down to is what you actually have to write your check out for. And
You're
I
out of
just
pocket.
wrote my check out Sunday, I put it in the mail today. But when on the statement that you get from the county treasurer, they do a comparison of all of the taxes that you paid for last fiscal year and then for the current fiscal year. And I looked at the line item for the city of Waverly portion of that, and the taxes on my house went up by 1.7%, which is an increase, but you got, I mean, that's even below inflation. And I was going to, I didn't have a chance because today got a little bit weird, but I was going to go back and see if I could dig out as many of my reports as I could find and just take a look at year over year. And I don't think we've ever had a year where it's been, much more than 1 or 2% increase.
It's your actual assessment that drove that, not the fabricated estimate they put in here.
Right, and it's the amount, what really counts is the amount that you actually, the dollar amount you actually really have to pay. That's the tax part. And, you can talk about the levy and all of that kind of stuff, but then they have all of this adjustments to it and the rollbacks and all of that kind of stuff against the levy, and nobody can really figure out what it is. The bottom line is, what is the amount that I actually have to write a check out for? And that's what people really need to take a look at. And it's we've been holding the line on those taxes for years.
Offer again, or was that just community?
Couple of people came
Oh, new people came in. Welcome. Hey, Bob. We're in the middle of a public hearing on the budget.
Well, there.
They have to do the exciting thing too, so.
Yeah, 3 more minutes, so if anyone's going to rise to speak to the budget, you're coming into your last chance. No, till the next hearing.
Till the next hearing, so.
Which is on April 7th, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the final one, so. But I guess, the frustration we have is the amount of time and effort you put into it as staff, and you crank this out, and then when it's misrepresented intentionally, it makes me crazy on this. Why do we bother if that's what's gonna turn out to be in the media, so.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, honestly. But we don't control it, we have to print it, we have no choice, that's what it is, and we just deal with it, so. Hopefully people actually look at their bills, their statements, and not just go off of what you see in the papers, because it's not even close to accurate, so.
6:58, I think we've waited long enough.
It's your call, sir, it's your meeting.
All right, there being no one to speak to the public hearing, we declare this meeting now closed.